Hey, yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over one of my favorite brand new decks in the format, and that is going to be Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. Ethan's Ho-Oh is a brand new card that just released in Destined Rivals, and in my opinion is actually a pretty underrated deck. We have Ethan's Ho-Oh EX here, which is a 230 HP fire type Pokemon with that ability Golden Flame, which reads, once during your turn you may attach up to 2 basic fire energy cards from your hand to one of your benched Ethan's Pokemon. So the goal is to get fire energies onto Ethan's Ho-Oh and then utilize this Armarouge, which reads, as often as you'd like it during your turn, you may move a fire energy from one of your benched Pokemon to your active Pokemon. So we're going to be getting energies on the board with Ethan's Ho-Oh, and then we're going to be utilizing Armarouge to power up all of our powerful attackers. We have cards like Terapagos with that unified beatdown, Iron Hands with Amp You Very Much to take 2 prizes on low HP Pokemon. Also have Durant EX here, which deals weakness into things like Grimmsnarl, which is expected to be one of the more popular decks in the standard format. Also have Regigigas as well, being able to one-shot things like the Charizards and Dragapults. We have the Wellspring Mask Ogerpon as well with that Torrential Pump, Lillie's Clefairy, and more. So this is a really fun toolbox deck that I actually think has a lot of potential if you are able to get it going. The deck list will be right down in the description as well. But with that being said, let's hop into a game and show off just how good this deck is. It is one of the most entertaining decks from the new set, and I think it has a lot of potential. All right, let's hop into it. Alrighty, so hopping into it right here. Now, my opponent did mulligan a couple of times, which gave herself a much bigger hand. We are going up against Dragapult from looking at those mulligans, so we have ourselves a pretty good start. I mean, we have the Earthen Vessel, so we can get the 2 energy. We have access to potentially Iron Hands or potentially the Wellspring. I think we're going to go for the Iron Hands to try and take 2. I feel pretty good about that. We're going to get rid of the boss's orders here. That seems fine. There's a couple of energies to attach. I want to do. So we got Charcadet. Oh, Squawka's prize. That's a little bit annoying. I was kind of considering Squawk in start. Squawk would have felt pretty good, but also just getting Mew down and drawing cards is like also completely fine, I think. So we're going to utilize that Golden Flame, getting ourselves a couple of energies right onto that Ethan's Ho-Oh 1 and 2. We're going to put down a few options here. I guess this hand, there's kind of like too many good cards in it. It's kind of a weird hand to have. So we need this on the board, that's for sure. We're probably gonna Ultra Ball. I guess we could ditch the Luminous Energy. It's not like the end of the world to do that, because then we can Mew for 3. We can get Charcadet and Mew down. Yeah, this seems okay. But then the only issue with that is then I don't get a Terra type down, so Area 0 doesn't like feel that great. Maybe I do just get Wellspring. The more I'm thinking about it, Wellspring might just be better. If I could put it down, because it is a Terra type. But then again, yeah, bench space is so tight here. That's like my only concern, especially against Dragapult, is like clogging the bench unintentionally. So maybe just go here and here. You know, I might just be okay with this, and then we'll get Mew, we'll get Charcadet, draw 2, and then potentially put Wellspring down. Okay, I think this is fine. Unfortunately, have to be very careful with our bench space, especially against a trap deck that can like try and lock the active. Also, we can always move this Aurora, or not Aurora Energy, Luminous Energy around, so that's nice. We'll go here, bench Charcadet attached to the Ho-Oh, just because it's like it'll attack next turn, even though I don't really want it to attack next turn. That might just happen. We'll get the Mew here just to draw up to 3. Digging for a draw supporter for that next turn, that'd be ideal. Looks like we got ourselves, wow, an Armarouge and also a Night Stretcher. Now this kind of becomes tempting to put the Iron Hands down. It becomes very tempting. They're probably going to Badoo us as well. That's like one thing that's worth mentioning. I think I am just going to Stretcher and just keep the Iron Hands in the hand, because I don't know if I necessarily want to commit to it in this situation. Just because I don't want to fully bench lock myself and be put in a spot where I'm not able to do a whole lot. And if I top deck Wellspring, I'd like rather go into Wellspring, but if they just Badoo me, then I have access to Iron Hands. So that's kind of the reason as to why I think I'm just going to hold it at the moment. But anyways, passing it off to them here. Big thing is do they have an Iono? If they don't have an Iono, then I feel really good about this. We'll get Armarouge, we'll get Hands, or the Wellspring down, and we'll have Iono. So things are looking pretty good. All right, there's Buddy Puffin. Good start for them, getting them multiple Dreepies onto the board here. It's like a very, very good start. But the question is do they have a supporter? That is the $1 million question. And it is going to be Brock Scouting, which means we are going to be able to keep our hand, which is really important. This is probably going to get themselves either another Dreepy, maybe a Dry Cloak as well. Multiple different things they could be getting here. But looks like they're going to get themselves Latias and Dusknoir. So we're going to be going up against kind of a hybrid variant. It looks like Pure Pult with the Latias, but they do actually have the Dusknoir package as well. So Latias definitely makes sense, though, getting that free retreat. Let's see what we get. All right. We got ourselves Armarouge, which is fantastic. We'll evolve that. Now, we also have access to Iron Hands, which is really good. So we're going to bench the Iron Hands here. I could also gamble and like Iono and try and find Wellspring. However, we don't have access to items, which is really important to remember. So we're going to put that down, and then we're going to Iono here. I think actually Mew first is correct. And the reason is that I'm probably not going to be able to thin my hand down to ever Mew after I Iono here anyway. So yeah, we'll Mew for one, see if I can get myself anything. Yeah, Ultra Ball, not useful here. And we'll use that Iono. So just looking for a fire energy here. That would be ideal. Did draw Legacy. That's also fine. Yeah, Legacy is fine. It's not the best thing to draw, but it's okay. So go Legacy on to the Iron Hands. Retreat into the Iron Hands. Use Armarouge because technically Luminous counts as a fire as well. So able to move it really nice. Load all of this up here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to be able to utilize that Amp you very much on the second turn of the game here. Ton of pressure, huge amounts of pressure being put onto Dragapult. What a crazy start for us. Also got the Latias on the board, so the only thing they can trap is Armarouge, but Armarouge can also attack. That's another really nice thing, is that Armarouge has the ability to attack as well. So there's really nothing that they can trap in this situation. Everything can do something. Now, the big question is whether or not they play something like that Maractus. If they play Maractus, they would be able to trap the Latias, which could be a little bit scary. One thing I have kind of considered is playing a switch card, but it's kind of hard to fit in this list. There's not necessarily a whole lot of space because you have so many cards that you can play in this toolbox style deck, and unfortunately only 60 cards. But anyways, there is the Fezandipiti being used, drawing more cards. There is the counter catcher, gotta assume. Yep, Armarouge is going to the active. So what we're going to be looking for here is a couple of energies to be able to move this Armarouge. We just need to get a couple of fires, and we'll be able to use that Golden Flame, move those energies onto Armarouge, and then either Flame Cannon or just treat those energies. Either or is completely fine. There is Night Stretcher being used. Now, this is actually a pretty smart play here, putting up the Fezandipiti, knowing that I don't have a Pokemon on my bench that can actually one-shot this Fezandipiti. However, oh, looks like they're actually going back. Never mind, I lied. They're going back into the Badoo, but potentially leaving Fezandipiti in the active wasn't terribly bad. But I actually had access to Cruel Arrow. That's something that's really funny. I could have just Cruel Arrow sniped this, which I honestly might do this turn. I think Cruel Arrow is like potentially one of my best plays here, which is pretty crazy to say, but it might just be. So, all right, got ourselves a Luminous Energy. We can always move this to the active, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot where we put this. So we're just going to put this on to the Ho-Oh here. And yeah, I think I'm going to go for Cruel Arrow, which sounds pretty crazy, but I think if I Cruel Arrow this, there's not a whole lot that they can do. There is an energy. Would have liked two, but an energy nonetheless. All right, go there. It's well, the more I think about it, I guess if we just amp for 2, they might not even play Rare Candy, and then I guess we could just Mew EX for game. Never mind. It's really tempting, but I guess because I have Mew and Fez on board, I probably don't do that. It's the fun play, I know, Cruel Arrow snipe, but I guess if they have another counter catcher, they could force Armarouge into the active. So the more I think about it, I think actually just retreating is correct and attacking the Iron Hands. But Cruel Arrow was an option for sure. All right. Amp here, taking 2 more prize cards. And the big question is, what can they actually do? They need Rare Candy plus Dragapult. That is for certain. But not even sure if they play it. That's one thing that sometimes these slow Pult lists don't play. Usually the Dusknoir variants do play it, but this variant seems like a little bit of a hybrid of both, so I'm not 100% sure if they even were able to fit it in. So, all right, there is Fezandipiti being used. Flip the script, drop to 3. There's Bloodmoon, so they are going to be able to Bloodmoon here. The problem, though, is that they're only going to take 1 prize card, so we have plenty of time. That is one of the nice things about Legacy Energy is 1 less card, or 1 less prize card that they are able take. Now, this actually becomes a spot where Cruel Arrow actually becomes a viable attack. I could just go Cruel Arrow the Dreepy here. They are already down. Oh, they didn't even attack. I guess they missed energy. All right, cool. So in this situation, all I need is a way to knock out this. Now, this unfortunately only does 100, so it'd only be doing 200. So it's not enough to knock it out, right? Yeah, Cruel Arrow does 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. If this had 10 damage on it, we'd have KO. I can't Eon Blade as well, which is really funny. But it's fine. It's not a huge deal. We'll go Earthen Vessel, discard, draw 2, Golden Flame. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I don't think I can. Yeah, this is only hits for 200. Okay. Now we'll go attach here. Move for 3, restart. 1, 2, 3. Then at this point here, I could just amp for 120 because I missed boss, and then next turn Cruel Arrow snipe. Because I guess if I Cruel Arrow here and just hit, they KO, then I don't have it, and I potentially like put myself in an awkward situation where I don't have really a good attacker. So I think that just I guess I can put Area 0 down. That's like fine. Send it out. But yeah, Cruel Arrow for 1 would be cool, but there's an Ursaluna City and they'd go KO and I might not have a response. If they just KO this, then they're already down their Turo, right? Yeah, they're already down Turo, so they can't actually move this thing, I think, the next turn. The other option would just be Shining Feathering. Like, Shining Feather is actually probably just the correct place. To hit for 160 means Bravery Charm doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, we're just going to Shining Feather for 160. Yeah, that seems fine. So Armarouge. Move the... Oh, actually, one interesting like interaction here, by the way, is that since we're gonna move Legacy, yeah, because anyway, sorry, what I was about to say is since this luminous energy, there was also on top of the luminous energy a legacy energy. The luminous energy shut off. So yeah, sorry, I was trying to figure out how to word that. It's kind of an awkward interaction, but since we did move the since we moved the legacy energy off, the luminous energy reactivates as whatever energy I need it, meaning that I can now move it to Fezandipiti on the next turn. So that's the reason as to why I did that. And now I just have checkmate. Like if they don't have boss's orders, if they have boss's orders, then I have still more time. I can Mew again, do some stuff. But they literally have to. They literally have to KO Fezandipiti. They have no other line because I'll just Cruel Arrow for game, which is pretty crazy to say, but yeah. Let's see. There's Dracoloak number 1, Dracoloak number 2. So finally getting those out here with that Recon directive. All right. There's Recon used. Number 3. Yeah, gotta find Counter Catcher Energy. That's the big thing. If they can find Counter Catcher Energy, they could potentially do something. They would force me into finding like Stretcher, Boss's Orders. There's still plenty of outs. Like it's very likely I would find game, but makes it a little bit interesting. Even if they ever get Dragapult set up, we just have Gigas hit him for 330. Nice and easy. So let's see what they end up doing here. Yeah, they need to find an energy. I mean, yeah, if they don't have Counter Catcher, they're just checkmated. Because they can't, like, even if they Bravery Charm this, it puts it up to 100. Cruel Arrow is still okay those. So they need energy plus also Bravery Charm. All right, retreat. What are they going in here? It's got to be Bloodmoon, right? They have to take the prize. Even though it's just a prize, they have no other play. Oh, they're going into Dracula. Now I just amp for game, right? Yeah, it's amp for game. Or Cruel Arrow. Honestly, we're going to Cruel Arrow. We're going to style it. Retreat. Fezandipiti. Armarouge. Fire off. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, and 3. And the Cruel Arrow will win us the game there. So anyways, able to take down Dragapult. Just an absolutely dominating showing from this deck. One of my favorite decks from the brand set Destined Rivals. And I think if it does actually get going, it has a ton of potential. But anyways, that is going to do it today for the video. I hope you enjoyed this play video of the Ho-Oh box. If you're interested in the deck list as well and want the export for yourself to import it right into TCG Live, you can check out the description as well. But anyways, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks for all the support as always. I appreciate it. This is Smart TCG. I'll speak to you guys again soon. Peace out.